Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your timeless reading. This is Stardust Tarot. So, just a little preface here. I have four specially generated cards for you. Now, they're all generated using one special keyword. Three of those keywords, I'll tell you what those special keywords are after I'm done pulling cards here. The fourth card will be a secret card, so you won't know what that is. So if none of the words really stand out to you, then you can try that one and see what that card does. So I won't interpret those cards. They're meant for you to take a look at and sit with, reflect upon, and take in. So that's for you. And then also, in addition to that, after those cards, I'll give you information on the trigram. So I do a 9 card spread. So for those who are familiar with the I Ching, that relates to trigrams. So specifically, I draw for the lower trigrams, the first 3 lines, and so at the end of the reading, I'll let you know what trigram that is and which lines are changing, if any. So with that out of the way, I'll start to draw here. Now, while shuffling, pre-shuffling, I got this clear image of specifically a young girl clasping my left arm, um, and kind of smiling up at me. So that was definitely bright. This person might, well, I mean, is important to you in some way, but that was kind of the image I got. It was definitely an impression, and a great feeling, a happy feeling for sure. So whether that's a memory, um, of someone special to you, or if that's you doing the imprinting, that's kind of what I got there. So to start here, I read them how I see them here. So that would be upside down to you. Um, so to start with, so what we have here, this first line is a balanced yin energy. So despite there being 2 cards in reverse, this is a, a, a balanced energy. Um, so not much to change here. It's being the first line, it represents our kind of our most internal state for the query specifically, or the querent. So I have 2 court cards here. So one is in reverse, one isn't. So I call these the matriarchs. They're equivalent to the queens in the Rider-Waite, but Queen of Cups and Queen of Wands here in reverse. So in between that, getting a child, and I was talking about a younger girl earlier. So this is my sun card, a younger girl, and this is of course traditionally the happiest card in the deck. And for me in my deck here, this is a card of innocence and the happiness of innocence, the gift that we receive actually from others as well, from that innocence. When we are in kind of that state of mind where we're ourselves authentically and genuinely, we give that off. It's hard to fake, um, and anyone, and if you're familiar with yourself, then sometimes you can catch other people being disingenuous or kind of question them. So, but having this card, especially in reverse, between these two, so this could be a variety of things. Now with these two kind of both sharing that same yin energy here, this could be a memory. I'm getting a memory, um, that despite it being happy, I think that time in general might not have been as bright. Um, at the time, it may have felt bright, but looking back on it, I get this sense of not despair, but maybe nostalgia to the point where it's really sentimental. Um, but this, obviously, the Queen of Wands in reverse is a very reactive, outlashing, controlling energy. Um, and then on the opposite side, we have the Queen, of course. So a very balanced, mature, calm, at peace, um, but also very loving and caring. So I get a mother here, like a mother for sure to a child. Um, so let's see what else comes out. So whatever this memory might be, I think what because this line is balanced, I feel that it's your perspective on it is mostly balanced, is mostly clear. It's just where do I go from there? So that's kind of the next question. Where does that lead? So okay. All right. So now we have balanced yang energy. So we have two major arcanas here with another court card. So this is my death card. Um, and if you can see there's skulls obviously down below, but this uh, he death is holding eggs. So there's eggs in his hand that he's clasping and focusing on, and down below in his feet, which is kind of the primary energy, and also your card, Scorpio. It's that of transformation, and even the image for this thumbnail is that of a phoenix. So transformation is, at least in terms of tarot, is the key word here. It's a transformative energy for sure. Um, Now with the Hangman in reverse, I think so. This is upright. I know the Hangman traditionally is technically upside down, though in my deck, this person is kind of relaxing and just staring up at the sky, trying to dig deep. He's actually staring up at a clear sky, the stars. There's a star here, but he's looking up at the stars. It's what he sees um, on the surface. So um, I think I feel like there's this, even though even though there may have been some kind of experience that kind of soured those memories. That's what I'm getting, is like perhaps there's something that happened that kind of not made, like, well, I don't want to say completely made them irrelevant, but made them less impactful, and that's not. I don't feel like that's the case, because on the surface here, it's a card of happiness, so I kind of share the sentiment too, because this is actually a very personal card to me as well. So a little bit about myself: I'm a former youth in care, and I have this clear memory of picking dandelions and giving them to my bio mother, my biological mother. Um, and I remember running around everywhere I could find to find dandelions, and I didn't know they were weeds. I just knew they were flowers. Um, and giving them to her, and she loved them. Yeah, she just she was bright in that moment, and it made her really happy. Um, so, and even at that time, it was a very dark time for me personally. And following that, it wasn't until later that I actually revisited that specific memory, and it's what inspired this card. The inspiration for that card is, despite the darkness surrounding that time in my life personally, um, or at least outside of kind of my awareness, right? Um, I was still happy. I was still in a good place. Um, and that's hard to remember what you like, especially what you felt when you look back with, um, you no longer have that sense of innocence any longer. We have so many things to calculate and deduce in order to make the right decisions in our life. So it's tough. It's so easy for us to not see the forest for the trees, and that's a very common thing to happen where you know it's hard to read between the lines, um, or we get caught up in a storm and then we forget where we are, what's around us, and kind of lose that sense. So I feel like you're trying, you're exploring that, and that's a wonderful thing. This other card is my is a court card. So the page is reworked to what I call the scholars, and so this is the feminine scholar of aqua or of water. Um, and so she she is an embodiment of someone who can use her intuitive prowess to try to discover things, facts, even, to bring things to the forefront of our mind that kind of well up from down below. Um, so very skillful, a card of intuitive emotional intelligence, um, and you can tell she's extremely calm. Um, she senses a lot more than she kind of lets on. And I think you're trying to do that. You're reaching out to all your senses to kind of gather things up and allow it to mingle together, which is great. Revisiting things is a difficult process, and you have to open yourself up to really allow that process to happen. All perspectives, I mean, when I say open up, because it's as you may know already, it's easy to get lost in our own perspective and forget about everyone else and the state of the world, even, and things outside of our control or the control of others. And I think you're aware of that because this is a balanced line again. It's not changing in terms of the lower trigram. So nothing really changing, and I think I'm mostly giving you reassurance thus far, um, which is important, at least from an outside point of view. So keep doing whatever you're doing. Keep digging if you feel like you need to dig and lay things out. Let things settle, and then start looking again. Because I feel like our perspective, our mind is like a light, and when we peer into memories, especially dark ones, the more we start to understand about the dynamics of ourselves, who we are, and then also our relationships, the more we start to see. So even if you gaze back at that memory once or twice or three times, over the years, as you gaze back more and more, you'll discover more and more. It's it's a process that continues to happen, um, and it reveals things, and it's wonderful because we are mysteries almost. Um, and so here, two more major arcanas, and this is another balanced energy, so no specific changing lines, but it's that of yin, so another internal energy, and I believe this trigram forms that of fire, which is symmetrical, um, though I think there's this getting this fluctuation, like fluctuation of back and forth, in and out and in and out, um, and it might be painful. I'm feeling like it might be painful for sure. So here's my eight of swords, uh, obviously chained, kind of blinded, and she only has her internal sense to, and her, I guess, her ears, maybe her nose, to gauge what's happening. She's limited, um, in what she can do. Of course, movement, and then the two reversals are major arcana. So here's my high priestess and the hierophant, which I believe are of equal. No, I apologize. That's not correct. But um, we have this internal, intuitive sense or knowing, that might be also in conflict with what we believe and what we know, or what we choose to believe in, ultimately. And that's the kind of the difference between the two. Whereas the Hierophant mostly symbolizes that of organizations and groups that kind of, um, hold beliefs true. So if you were to seek guidance from a spiritual counselor, you would perhaps go to a church or a monastery. Whereas the High Priestess is definitely more of an internal process, um, of thought. And you might be trying to balance those two, or they might both be kind of at odds, and that's perhaps a part of the problem. Is deciphering, okay, what am I choosing to hold on to, um, and perhaps what am I not letting go, um, or what have I retained for too long? What have I held on for too long, or not re reanalyzed, or revisited, which I think you're doing now. And that, I think this again is just more reassurance of that process that you're trying to do. It's a difficult process of looking back if you've had a difficult childhood or experience step by step. That's not an easy thing to do, but in the long run, you gain much more, uh, knowledge and peace within yourself, and then also the ability to help others in the same way, because you can, of course, easily relate and see when other people are experiencing a similar thing, and tell them that, you're not alone. You're this this is a human thing, and it does have a purpose. I can't tell you what that purpose is, but it's the same, explanation that I gave earlier. Like, sometimes it's easy to miss the forest for the trees, um, and that's difficult to do when especially if we arrive at a difficult truth when we do see that forest. Kind of speaking in metaphors right now, but it's the best way that I can describe it. When you reach that conclusion, that can be a difficult one to grasp, even sometimes, even if you work hard on yourself and you grasp that. Um, Accepting it is the next part of that process. It's not easy, um, and I applaud you for doing that, for trying to attempting that, and seek whatever, if you feel you need help, of course, reach out to whomever you're comfortable with and tell them. Or, like, the tarot for me is another process to bring that out. Um, so do everything you can. I think you're already doing that. I feel like I don't have to really tell you, but as reassurance, keep going, keep doing your thing. So, apart from that, I'll stop with the general reading at this point and then go forward with the generated cards. So I'll list out the keywords and then give you a moment to pause to select a chapter or a timestamp in the description. All right, and then I'll show them. So the first word is police. Second word is contract. Third word is obligation, and the fourth word is a secret. So just to show you them now, so pause the video if you need. Police, contract, obligation, and then the secret word is user. User. All right, so those are the cards, and then for your for your trigram, I believe that is fire, but to double check it, no, it's that of water. So that makes sense when I was talking about the fluctuations. Yeah, much more mutable. So that's the trigram. The lower trigram is water. So if you cast 3 more lines, then you'd get an overall hexagram, which could lead you to more understanding about the situation or your question. I won't do that, but I definitely recommend you give that a try just to see if you've never even done the I Ching. It's a good opportunity to reflect further. So um, that's about all I have for you, Scorpio. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support me, I have a Ko-Fi page where you can download the generated cards for each of my readings. Link is in the description there. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.